Before we start today's show, Grit and Grind, we'd like to take a moment of silence for a fallen player from the Northern Nash Knights, Mr. Jalen Silver. We hope you will observe this moment of silence with the Grit and Grind before we start today's episode. We want to thank everybody for participating in the moment of silence for Mr. Jalen Silver, and I think you want to tell them on behalf of the Grit and Grind.
Yeah, just on behalf of the big Grit and Grind, we would like to send our condolences out to the family, to the community, and the Nash County area, his family, his friends, the students at Northern Nash High School, and just let you know that our thoughts and prayers are with all of y'all today.
Hey, plug your ears in, man. You know who it is, Slim Hunters.
Do you have the Grit?
Do you have the grind?
We got round 4.
Round 4 is coming.
It's coming.
It's here.
It's here.
We've been talking about this since August. This is something we've been talking about since August.
Since August.
The pre-show, we said there was a couple teams in the area that could make it a good run.
A good run.
One of the teams we hear right now at that state.
We had the Dog Pound.
The Dog Pound is taking that campaign.
The national
The
campaign.
National Campaign Trail.
Where they going to?
That bus is going to Clinton, North Carolina. And Shawn, that is going to be a big time game coming up this week.
Big time game for the Dog Pound.
Yes.
First time in school program history. Getting to the 4th round.
Yep, getting to the 4th round.
Several years made it to the 3rd, made it to the 2nd. This is the year. They broke the barrier, got to the 4th.
This is it. But
Can't forget about Northern Nash.
Northern Nash, I tell you what, if this is not, we have talked about Northern Nash.
This is it.
And we have said this is the best halftime adjustment team that we
seen in this area.
In this area. And they made the adjustments in halftime, came out, and it was to the wire to get a win. But this is a proven team.
It's proven.
This team is one of those, we're going to take it on the road, and we're going to show you what we do.
And we're going to show you what we do in these type of games.
And they take care of business.
Let me tell you about Northern Nash. I won the green today, Northern Nash. I'm back. I told you I jumped on the bus. I jumped on the bus when you picked me up. See, now I'm going to tell you. I was on Highway 97.
Okay.
After round 2.
Okay.
They see me walking. They pulled that bus over. See, they ain't got like we had the bus. You know, we had that lever.
Yeah.
You got that move, you got lever.
Yeah.
They got that switch.
That switch.
They hit that switch.
What they say?
Grit and Grind Shawn. You'll see this right here waiting on you. I put my green on, hot right back on.
So you back on the bus.
They went down to Scotland, Daryl, and this was a very tough game for Northern Nash. But the one thing about this game was back and forth. I mean, we were down here at the Dog Pound, but we were keeping up with that score every 2-3 minutes just to see what was going on. Scotland got out and got in front of Northern Nash. And it's what we always been saying. You just said at the beginning of this show right here. They make the best halftime adjustments.
Yeah.
And I mean, pretty much it was to the wire at the end. Number 12, Arrington. Double team the playmaker. They double team the playmaker that night.
Yep.
Tried to keep King to have a quiet night. Arrington made the go-ahead grab for the touchdown. But then Northern had to stop a 33-yard field goal. They could have won the game.
That's it.
And you can't keep the playmaker down too long.
You can't do it.
You can't do it. Did not put an account for him out there. He jumped back there around the King, blocked the field goal. Northern moves on to the 4th round.
And that's what you want to be able to do, is survive.
And that's what I was just going to say. It survived. And if you're Northern Nash, and I'm going to talk about this when we get to that game, but I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a preview of what I'm going to say about Northern Nash. You have now done things that you did not have to do last year till you got to 71st at your house. You have went on the road and won 2 close games.
2 close games.
On the road.
Against 2 good teams.
Against 2 good teams, a Southern Nash and a Scotland team.
Yep.
You didn't have to see games to the wire last year on your campaign to state championship till you got that 71st game.
Right.
That's a lot of confidence for a team.
And that's what I was
on the road.
On the road. And what that has done is built that character that Northern Nash has had, not just this season, but even last season.
That's spilling over.
It's spilled over. And this team has character. And they know that no matter what that scoreboard says, we got a chance to win a game.
Exactly.
Every time.
Well, Darryl, you got to tell me about one.
I tell you what.
We were here, but I want you to just let everybody who want me to know what happened.
I'm talking about the Nash Central game against Hartford County. And Shawn, if you love offense, this is the game you should have been in. I mean, because I think in the first quarter it was 28-22 or something like that. We still had 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. And it was just back and forth as far as on the offensive side of the ball. Neither team could really get a stop on neither team on defense-wise, but their offenses on both sides, even with Hartford County quarterback making some big-time plays down as far as getting into his receivers, and then Nash Central's running game. I tell you, James Rogers just took over. He took over, and he refused for Nash Central to lose in this game.
That's right. He said one more game.
He said one more game. He wanted one more game. And he definitely was able to get that with his teammates playing good defense at the end, because that's what it was. It was that bend don't break mentality on defense for Nash Central. They was able to make the stops when it was the most important, which was late in the fourth quarter, and they was able to come out with a win. And Shawn, the environment here, like I said, if you love offensive football, this was the game you should have been in. But Nash Central moves on.
They move on. And Hartford County, welcome to the family. You're heading home, but hey, we'll be back next month. Not next month, next season. We'll be back. We definitely will be taking a trip down to Hartford County to see Coach OG and those Bears live in action. Darryl, a lot of big games. Before we jump into them games, we got to give a shout out.
We got to shout out. Also,
we got a bunch of people got shout out.
Well, we got people to shout out, but we also got to talk about the fight game.
We got to talk about fight.
Yeah.
I had a chance to have one of my good friends go down there who watches Grit and Grind. He went to the fight in the 71st game. He came back, gave me a good report. Fight just ran up against a good team.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing. 71st is, like we said in our pre-show Friday night, 71st, this is tradition for them.
Right.
Having good teams throughout decades. And 71st has always done this. And so Fight ran up against a good 71st team. And it was just a matter of playing a team that's got a good defense, that was able to stop, that could stop the run.
And what is Fight known for? Running the ball.
Running the ball. And Fight just could not get the ball in the end zone when they had an opportunity to several times in the game.
But if you fight, like I was telling my friend yesterday who went down to watch this game, if you fight, you're in a good place because you got to the third round.
Right.
And you just ran up on a team that just knew how to stop your offense.
Yeah.
But you come back next, you reload it.
You come back, reload it, and so Fight had a good season.
They had a great season.
Great season.
A great season. Share of the conference championship.
Yep.
Continue the 8-year streak. 8-year streak now.
8-year streak of
deep running to the playoffs, third round. And if you fight, you bring all that back in spring OTA. You know what you say now in spring OTA, some OTA. If we did this with this team, now we are more experienced, more polished. Imagine what we can do next year.
Next year. And that's what you want to do. Is get ready for that for next season.
Gotta give a shout out before we get to these games, Darryl.
Oh yeah,
the 3 Clinton fans who came down.
The Clinton fans.
Hey, we appreciate y'all watching the show.
Yeah,
appreciate y'all coming down here to the dog pound. We come to see. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we come to see y'all.
But we appreciate y'all. We do. Well, Darryl, let's look at these games we got. Cause we got a lot of games. We got a bunch of picks to make around us. Like we say, the picks get slimmer. So we're gonna throw in some West picks. Cause a few people reached out to me and said, "Hey, throw some West picks in this week." Game 1. Let me give you Wilson Prep.
Okay.
Versus the 11-1, 8-0 Tarboro champions. Said Chapel. Boy, I'm thinking about Chapel Hill. Oh, man. Coming off a blowout win, 42-15 over the 10-3 Northmore versus the 11-1, 6-0, 1A, Whack-a-mile. Say that 3 times.
I know it. That's it.
Champs out of Cerro Gordo, North Carolina. I've never been to Cerro Gordo, but I plan on going down there now. A battle of 5 and 6 in NC ranking.
Yeah.
I got the road team, don't I?
Yeah, you got road team.
You got the home team.
I got the whole team.
Last year, 8 and 3. Also in round 1 of the playoffs, Wilson Prep. Inaugural season. I told Wilson Prep after that game, they overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
Overachieving to me is to have your first season, have a winning season,
Yeah.
get to the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
and you may didn't win round 1, but you overachieved because a lot of people looked at you on their conferences. This is a first-year team. We can catch you out off guard.
Right.
They're learning. They're getting used to football. Wilson Prep came back this year. Lost for Quims last year in the first round, 34-32 at home. A lot of people said it was jitters last year. They just, you weren't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
This team came back this year, and they took care of business. They won the conference. Check mark.
That's it.
Had a round 1 bye, so while everybody else was playing round 1 on their 4th game this week, if you still playing, they on their 3rd game. So that makes a difference because you had a week to rest.
Difference.
You had a week to rest.
Yeah.
A week to heal up.
Mm-hmm.
A week those players that were injured to get well. That's checking my book. The only loss Wilson Prep had was week 1, 8 to Griffin, 10-8. And I called that. I said that would be a tough game for Wilson Prep.
That was definitely going to be a tough game for them.
After that, Wilson Prep just became a machine on the football field, whether it was on the road or at home. East Columbus 50-0, Warren County 21-0, North Edgecombe 44-6, Northwest Halifax 52-0, Weldon 24-0, Kemp Pride. That's our school, lady.
Right there. That's it.
54-21, Northampton. Big win right here,
Mm-hmm.
34-28. Rocky Mountain Prep, they forfeited the game that evening. Had a bye round 1, round 2 played Weldon. Now Weldon, they beat them 24-0. This time they beat them 58. So that means in that game you made some adjustments for this game.
Right.
To be able to put up 25 more points.
Mm-hmm.
With 26. Round 2, Northmore, 42-15. They have not lost since week 1. And the point spread from that week 1 loss, if you take week 2 to round 3 of the playoffs, they have scored 395 points to their opponents, 86. In the playoffs, 92-23 margin. I seen the Tigers play. I got a chance to go down to the 1A championship. Christian Richardson, Kamari Barnes, defense, Jalen Newkirk, Xavier Williams, Jordan Ham. Christian Richardson with 14 interceptions on the season. Jordan Ham, he's a sack leader. They got the quarterback, Ethan Nelson, has not had to throw the ball that much because of Christian Richardson in that running game.
Mm-hmm.
But when they need him to throw the ball, he's been able to deliver. This right here for WPA is a tough game.
Yeah, I was going to say this.
But if you want to get to Tarboro, you got to win this game.
You got to win this game.
And WPA don't need to be looking ahead to Tarboro.
Right.
They need to be looking at Friday night. Tell me about West Columbus.
Well, West Columbus Vikings. They're 11-1, 6-0 in the conference. The only loss they had this year was St. Paul, and that was 14-12 early in the season. Other than that, they have been rolling. In the playoffs, they beaten East Columbus 55-0.
Ooh.
They beat Pender 54-6.
Oh, man.
They beat last week they beat Lakewood 42-0. Playoff games. So this team, and I'm gonna keep saying this word, focus.
That's key
So
word.
there's another team that we're gonna talk about later that I said a couple weeks ago was focus. That's the most focused team that I've seen this season. But this is a focused team as well.
Get you out
And
on football.
it starts with Unique Kelly, their quarterback. He's thrown for over 1,200 yards and rushed for 600 yards.
Hold on, I didn't hear
Yeah,
that.
let me say it again.
Let me make sure I heard that correct.
Let me say this again.
I want to make sure I heard it correct now.
Their quarterback, Kelly,
what?
has thrown for 1,200 yards.
Okay.
And run for 600. So he is the offense for them. He's the main key on that offense. And then on defense, they got this defensive player, when I was watching film on this team, that just stood out to me. Number 65, DJ Bryant. He's 6'2", 285, has over 80 tackles.
Oh, man.
Defensive tackle, defensive end, quick as lightning. And when I say he controls that end, he controls it. There was a couple plays I saw on video where the running back was trying to make the cut on the outside, and he
blew it up.
He blew that up all wide open. And when he's on that D line, he's getting straight to the quarterback. He is to be as tall as he is and the weight he's carrying,
He's
to
moving.
be as quick as he is something.
That's
so if I'm Wilson Prep, that's one of the things I'm looking for. Where's number 65 on defense? Because he is the real deal. And so, got to pick on this, Sean.
I got to pick on it.
It's a tough one, but I got to pick on this game.
And it's round 4, so the picks now are getting
Well, that's what I'm saying.
tough. You can't go chalk.
You can't, because the thing is, if you're in this round,
you're doing something right.
You're doing, yeah. Like I heard a coach say, I'm going to say it, Coach Lee, the other night, if you're practicing on Thursday, on Thanksgiving, you're a good team.
You're a good team.
You're a good team. So, all these teams right now are good teams that's
good
coming
team.
up on Friday night. All right, Sean, who we got next?
Well, we got to go down to Edgecombe County.
Uh-oh.
11-0, 5-0, 1A, 4 River Champs. Tarboro hosts the 8-5, 4-2 Eagles of East Blandon. You got the road team.
I got the road team. East Blandon Eagles are coming into this game 8-5, 4-2 in the conference. Wakaka, how do you?
Walkabout Conference.
Walkabout Conference. They
Well, we gonna need to change that name.
They was third in that conference. That last playoff game, they beat Rosewood 47-14.
Hey, good Rosewood
That's
team.
what I was gonna say. Good Rosewood team.
They were playing Tarboro last year to get to a state championship. Rosewood.
In Rosewood.
Man.
And they beat them. And, some of their key players is Malik Moore. Mason Brooks has over 1,800 yards rushing for the season. And on top of that, Sean, they also have other players that are running the ball. They got over 7 players that have already rushed for over 100 yards or more on this team.
Oh, man.
So it's like pick your poison who you want to run the ball. But right now, Brooks is getting the bulk of the runs. Defense-wise, I got to go back with Brooks. He's one of the star players on their defense. And then you got Kane and Allen. So this is a good team.
Good team.
That has found ways to win in the playoffs. Their record may not say, they're not 11-1, but this team got on stride in mid-season.
And that's what we always say. You want to start winning at the right time.
Yeah, because if you're playing good football in October, and that can carry over into the playoffs, and you get a couple playoff wins, before you know it, you're sitting in the 4th round.
And that's where they sit there.
And that's where they at right now. So this is a good team. So, Sean, tell me about who they play this week.
Tarboro. It's about that Tarboro team. Coach Craddock. It's the Vikings. It's the whole town of Tarboro you playing. It's whoever's going to come to Tarboro, you're going to get the beat down on Howard Avenue. We can game plan this, we can change it, but I'm telling you, when you come to Tarboro, you got a tough game. Tarboro, they're ranked number 2 behind Mount Airy. Rocky Mount, first game, 42-0.
Yep.
Hereford County, a good team that we saw last week.
Yeah.
A good quarterback, 49-22. North Edgecombe, 62-6. Southwest Edgecombe, their rival, 35-20. Bertie, 49-6. Perquimans, 42-6. Martin County, 46-6. Gates County, 49-0. Washington County, 48-0. Round 1, they had that bye.
They had that bye round 1.
Round 2, Northampton, 48-0. Round 3, Southeast Halifax, the runner-up to the Tarboro Note Conference Championships.
Yep.
36-0. 8 out of 9 teams Tarboro has played this season were playoff teams. They beat you in the regular season. They beat you in the playoffs. It's something about Tarboro that always, before I call these guys out, like you said, pick your poison.
Yeah.
You want either beat down on Howard Avenue or beat down on the boulevard. Because that's what they're going to do. They're going to beat you down with that T. And they're going to tell you, we want you to stop it because we ain't changing.
That's it. And
if you stop it, we're going to run it again.
They have the formula
to
get to that state championship. They know what it takes. They know what they got to do. They got a great coaching staff. And the players have bought in.
They have.
The fans have bought in.
The town has bought in.
The town has bought in into this program because this is what this program is accustomed to. It goes back to what we said earlier about 71st. It's tradition.
It's tradition in Tarboro.
And that's what this is in Tarboro. This is tradition. This is what we do.
Mason Satterfield, 898 yards. Kamari McDowell Moore, 944 yards, 113 receiving. Cannon Everett, 840 yards rushing. Christian Gutner, 264 yards rushing. Josiah Dickens, 194 yards rushing. Amari McNeil, 101 yards rushing. Omar Lewis, who don't run the ball, he's mainly a defense player, but when they asked him to run the ball, he got 106 yards rushing. Defense, Cameron Harper, Christian Gutner, McDowell Moore, Cameron, Amari Lewis, Kip Biggs. I mean, this is Tarboro. This is Tarboro time.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said. It's all with Tarboro. If you're East Bland coming into this game, you're going to come on Highway 64. Soon as you hit that sign that says Tarboro Town Limits or Sunday State, you're in Tarboro, you're going to see that big billboard that says 8 state championships.
That's it.
Then you're going to run down Howard Avenue. You're going to see all the conference titles, all the division titles, all the regional championships, all the state championships at the school on that billboard. It's that intimidation factor that Tarboro and the town uses when you get there to make you say, we got a game tonight.
Yeah, definitely got a game.
I got to pee. I'm ready to make it, but I can't make it down there.
You can't make it. We got to wait for the 5-minute quit pick.
Our next game, Daryl, will be the Northern Nash Knights said wrong.
No, you're going to say.
Going on the road to play Havelock.
Yep.
I got the road team, don't I?
Yes, you do.
Let me tell you about Northern Nash. I got so many notes on Northern Nash, I got to get them together. Here we go. Northern Nash, I mean, we said it at the beginning of the show right here. You know what I said about Northern Nash? They won 2 games.
Yep.
That were close games in the playoffs and on a campaign to the state championship.
Yep.
That's what you want. You want those close wins that you can say, here was a game that was a nail biter, but we found a way to win.
But that was 2, like you just said.
2 of them back to back.
2 of them back to back on the road.
On the road.
I don't think people understand that. You're going on the road to 2 of the biggest schools in their areas.
And you getting wins.
And you getting W's. You coming out with W's. You breaking hearts. That's what you're doing. They on I'm gonna call it, Shawn. Northern Nash is on the break the heart campaign.
Well, that's what they've been doing.
That's what they've been doing.
They beat 2 good teams. I got
to give them credit. They've been breaking their hearts. They've been breaking hearts. Because I wasn't at that Southern game. But my heart was broken. I ain't gonna say it like. So they on that break your heart campaign. But tell us about Northern Nash.
Since Nash lost on October 23rd, this team has come back and got refocused.
Yep.
They're clicking on all cylinders on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special team. This team reminds me of that Rocky Mountain team early in the 2000s that made it to a state championship.
Yep.
That they just started winning games. They were running that wing T back then. It was hard to stop. And they were going on the road winning close games and come back to Rocky Mountain with wins that people didn't expect them to beat. Teams like East Alabama, 71st, all that. They were beating those teams. This is what Northern Nash this year. That's the difference between this year's team and last year's team.
Right.
Last year's team was, we're going to blow you out.
Right.
You got to see if you can play up to our standards.
Yeah.
This year's team is more like, we can blow you out. We can beat you close.
Yeah.
We're going to do the small things right. If I'm Northern Nash, you play the Richlands. That's 7-4. That was a good team, round 1 at home. Then Southern. Then you play Scotland, 45-44. Northern has played 7 playoff teams this entire season. Out of those 7 playoff teams, let's give you the scores. 48-13. Fight, 55-12. Hunt, first round exit. Fight, third round exit. Jakes Rose, 34-20. A third round exit. Roanoke Rapids, 44-0. First round exit. Nash Central, 49-26. Still in it.
Still in the
fourth
playoffs,
round.
yep.
Southern Nash, they lost 35-32 in the season and came back. They lost 28-21 in the season and came back and won 35 to what? 31 in the season. Rocky Mountain, 59-24. Another team, first round exit, they made it to the playoffs. This Northern Nash team is good, but it goes with those same players I talk about every week on this team. Elijah Pierce, the quarterback. Just playing the best football at the right time of the season. Mistake-free football.
That's it.
Knowing when King is double teamed, knowing when Battle's out there open, being able to tuck the ball in and run it for those 3, 4, 5 yards. Fighting for those extra yards, but not fumbling the ball.
Right.
They can turn it over. Fighting for the extra yard, but making sure you got the ball tucked and covered so when you come down, it doesn't fumble. Then you got Trey Battle, Jaquavius Moody. Receiving, the playmaker, Randall King. That's why I call him. And when you double team the playmaker and you take Battle out, you forget about the other receiver, Jaquel Arrington.
I was going to say, don't forget about Arrington.
You forget about him who can go off at any night, on any Friday night. This guy can go off. Defense, Connor Baker, 72 tackles on the season. Andrew Zipko, I done changed his name.
Yeah.
He the Zip.
Yeah.
Because he got 66 tackles. So that means you zip it all over the field.
Yeah.
So I'm changing your name on the grid grind. You the Zip now. Garnet Graham, 55 tackles. Torrance Porter Jr., 48. Strickland, when he ain't on offense, they go and get him to relieve somebody on the defense, one of the starters, 31 tackles. Special teams, they haven't had to use that much, but you got Wales, 35 yards punting. I mean, it's Northern. They're playing the best football at the right time.
And that's what you want to be able to do right now.
They got Havelock. Tell me about Havelock.
They got a good Havelock team they got to play next, which is Havelock team is 13-0, 6-0 in the Big Carolina Conference. To get them to this fourth round of the playoffs, they beat Dixon 62-0 in the first round, Cape Fear in the second round 27-15, and last week they beat J.H. Rhodes 20-6. They had a big time win early in the season against Jacksonville that was in their conference, and that led them to win the conference championship in that game. But their key players that I see is LeBron Sharp.
Oh, yeah.
He's done rush for over 1,400 yards.
I seen that name.
Watching video on him, he has the best vision of a running back I've seen at the high school level, to where he can run one direction, and if he doesn't see what he's looking for, that hole or something, he has no problem stopping where he's at and making another change and going a different direction, and they still can't tackle him.
Still can't tackle him.
He is going to be someone that Northern Nash is definitely going to have to keep an eye on where he's at and contain and make the tackles when he runs the ball. And then you got Jonathan Williams. He's got over 1,200 yards rushing. So they got two good running backs that's got over 1,000 yards rushing right now. So this is a sound, good team running the ball. And then on defense, you got players like George, Pato Hicks, Deson, hope I pronounced his name right, that are playing good football right now as well on defense. So this Havelock team, again,
it's Rams.
It's the Rams. It's tradition.
They're always in it.
They're there. And it's another hurdle for Northern Nash to accomplish if they could get this win, is playing a good Havelock team and getting a W from them. But this is a good team that they're giving to face right now. And they got some good players. And like you said, they're 13-0. And you're playing them at home.
At home. We've been to Havelock.
We've been to Havelock.
Tough place.
Very tough place. So, got to pick on this.
I got to pick.
But we got to wait.
I got to wait.
One more team to talk about, Shawn.
The Grit and Grind. Prime time. Game of the week. 11-2, 4-2, Nash Central Bulldogs versus the 2-way Big East champs.
Yep.
Versus the 13-0, 5-0, 2-way Southeastern champs, Dark Horses of Clinton, in Clinton, North Carolina. Got to give a shout out to But Sweet Sports on YouTube.
Yep.
Go check them out. We're going to be doing a collaboration show this Friday night before the game with But Sweet Sports. So make sure you follow us on Instagram to get details on that. But go check out But Sweet Sports show right there on YouTube to learn about more and see what Clinton's been doing all season.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Darryl, I got the road team, don't I?
Yeah, you got the road team on this one.
I'm sitting right here at the road team. I'm
right.
getting ready to get on the bus. I got my equipment. Coach Lee has given me my equipment, my jersey, my pads.
You ready?
I went to my locker and got my stuff.
Okay.
I put my paint on. I'm ready to get on the bus because I'm ready to go to Clinton to play some football.
Okay, now.
Let's talk about that campaign.
All right.
That's what you've been saying all
That's what
season.
I've been saying all season.
Campaign.
They on that campaign trail.
Let's talk about that local campaign first. Then
All
we're going
right.
to talk about that national campaign. Southeast House Painters, 42-6. Run up with the Tarboro Note Conference Championship.
Mhm.
Made it to the third round. Southwest Edgecombe, 56-28. Third round. Won their conference championship. They eliminated. Both these teams eliminated. Goldsboro, 6-5-0. Bettyfield, 35-18. Another playoff team.
Yep.
Made it to the second round to play Clinton. Now Bettyfield's at home. 3 playoff teams right there in non-conference football. Conference play. You lost Southern Nash, 22-8. Another team that made it to the second round of the playoffs, right?
Yep. Made it to the second round.
Franklinton, you went down to Franklinton, a tough place to play in. 42-8. And I want to remind people, they beat the Grit and Grind Franklin County champs in their house.
Beat them.
Rocky Mountain, 28-10. That's a win. Northern Nash, 49-26. A game that at halftime, a lot of people said Nash Central was right there in the thick of this game.
Right there in it.
There was 2-8 time for them on this campaign. Bun, 56-0 at home. Roanoke Rapids, the battle I-95, 53-16. Round 1, Roanoke Rapids right here at the dog pound. You went to Roanoke Rapids the week before and beat them in their house. Then you told them to come back to the dog pound. Guess what they did? Beat them again, 47-8. Round 2, 56-28, West Craven at the dog pound.
To me, that was a big time win because you had a good quarterback.
That was a dual threat that could throw and run.
And they was able to control him.
And they would have run up to the conference at Southwest Edgecombe won.
Yeah.
Then they had Hereford County round 3, 71-68, right here at the dog pound.
Yep.
And once you just like you said, they have beaten 2 dual threat quarterbacks who can pass and run. Nash Central. It starts with the running back and the quarterback right here on offense. That's what it starts with. First ever grit and grind player of the week.
Yep.
To win both awards. First player to ever get the award in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because he earned it. I mean, we don't give out awards in the playoffs. Because we focus on that. But what James Rogers was able to do last Friday night here, it was pretty much the willpower of, I'm carrying my team to this 4th round.
Yep.
1,134 yards rushing. They haven't even factored in what he did last Friday night. They haven't even been factored in. Jarvis Jones, 1,008. They haven't factored in what he's doing. Then the general. What's the lead? The general. Making the right plays at the right time.
That's it.
Playing mistake-free football. Making sure the offensive line, when he says hi, and they're going on 2 on the hard count, they're going on 2.
That's it.
Then it goes to the offensive line, Daryl. I got to take my hat off to him. Those boys from Hereford County, there was some big boys on that D-line. Big boys.
Huge.
They were able to contain those guys. And I may be wrong, but I want to say in the entire game, I don't think Wesley got sacked. I didn't see one. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I did not see one when we watched the game here. Then you got that wide receiver core. Then when Wesley need to throw one, they go get it.
Yeah.
That defense. Isaiah Drawhorn, Jason Wilkerson, D'Angelo Johnson, Elijah Harris, Kareem Tugger. That D-line, those DBs, the free safety. They just, I got to use your sentence, Daryl. Do your job. That's what they do.
That's it.
They do their job. We saw it.
Yeah.
The kicker, Braston Skies. I mean, when he's kicking that ball off on kickoffs, he's either putting you in
position.
That's what's winning the game.
Is winning the games because he puts it in the end zone, and it gives that defense a good starting point to where they know the opposition team is going to start.
They got to go 60, 80 yards to get to the end zone.
To get to the end zone. So
that special teams, that kicker, it plays a part in this team of why they're in the 4th round.
Yeah.
You said it best a couple weeks ago. Why not? On the national campaign.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Before I turn it over, y'all got one more thing to say. Jada Whitaker. That's Daryl. Tell me about Clinton, Daryl.
Well, Clinton Dark Horses coming into this game 13-0. 5-0, won their conference. How they got to the playoffs, they played Kinston in the first round, won 64-12. Then they played Bedingfield, second round, 56-15. And then last week they played SAHS. I think that is Southern Alamance. Southern Alamance. And they won 42-7. A couple weeks ago, I talked about this Clinton team. And I said that this is the most focused team I've seen play football this season.
Get you out on football.
And going back, watching the Southern Alamance game tape, and I'm still saying the same thing. Right now, this is a focus-minded team. They don't make mistakes. They don't turn the ball over. The penalties are low. They are a good, sound football team.
On all sides.
On both sides. And it starts with their running game. Number 4, Robinson. 1,100 yards so far rushing already. Then you got number 10, Williams. He plays defense as well. But on offense, he's got 600 yards rushing as running back. Then you got 2 good wide receivers in Keenan and McClare, over 1,000 yards combined. They got good players on offense. They play fast.
They do.
And their defense, they swarm the ball. When the ball is high, they coming for you. And it starts with a couple players I saw on defense that stood out to me with Evans, Blackwell, Williams, these guys come after you and they come hard. And I just got to go back to that offense again. I'm looking at like number 10, Williams is running the ball more now for them. And he is a big back to bring down. And so if you're Nash Central in this game, you got to focus on making sure that Robinson and Williams don't get hot running the ball. You got to control that line of scrimmage. But this is a hard team to do that against because they're focused. They are focused, and they're looking also to get to that next round, to get to that state championship. They said we on the campaign trail too.
They said that's what they told us Friday night.
They said they on the
fans said Friday night.
They said
y'all say Nash Central on the campaign. We on the campaign.
They on the campaign trail too. So this is gonna be a good game.
Good game. Good old school 2A football at its finest.
At its finest. All right, Shawn. So with all that said,
it's time to make some picks.
It's time to make some picks. Make some picks.
Daryl, the people out west said we haven't talked about none of the West games.
Okay.
We had so many teams on the East that we're still playing.
Yeah.
That we talked about. We haven't been able to throw them in. But we're going to make some West picks.
All right.
Before we get to our picks. 11-2 North Rowan versus 12-1 Robinsonville. Ooh, good game over there.
That is a good game. I'm going to go Robinsonville.
I'm going Robinsonville. 13-0 Mount Airy versus 12-1 Eastern Randolph.
That's going to be a good game.
That's a good game.
A good game, but I'm going Mount Airy's on that.
Going to Mount Airy. Mount Airy, Robinsonville, heading for a crash course.
Yep.
13-0 West Henderson. We talked about them earlier this season.
Yep.
Versus 13-0 Hickory.
Woo.
That's a good game over there. Good game out west. If you're out west, find out where that game is at. You may want to go somewhere and check it out.
I'm going to go Hickory. I'm going Hickory on this one.
I've been wanting to go Hickory. I wanted to change my pick, but I'm sticking with it. I'm going Hickory. I'm going to stick with Hickory. Let's jump on to Triad.
All right.
13-0 Dudley Panthers versus 13-0 Crest. Let's stick with the Dudley Panthers.
You going Panthers?
Yeah, Dudley.
I'm
Dudley one of them teams always around 4A football.
You know what? I'm going upset pick. I'm going Crest.
Don't go Crest.
I'm going Crest.
12-1 Hogarth versus 13-0 Cleveland. Man, Cleveland has been rolling.
Cleveland rolling. I'm
They're
going
rolling.
Cleveland.
I'm sticking with the Rams.
I'm
Cleveland. They're rolling.
Cleveland on that.
Rams, we come to see you next season. 11-2 Cardinal Gibbons had to come off a very tight game against Clayton.
Yeah.
To get to this round. Versus 12-1 Roseville. In Roseville. Now,
I
Cardinal
picked
Gibbons
Roseville
Stadium.
a couple weeks ago when they played Wake Forest.
You did.
I'm going to have to go Roseville on this.
I got to go Roseville.
I'm going Roseville.
Sorry, couldn't say this Roseville team. They're just locked in.
Yeah.
They're focused. Big game over the Triad. 12-1 Southern Alamance versus 13-0 71st at 71st.
That's going to be
offensive line and running team
game.
versus a defense that stops the run.
Woo.
The battle of two irresistible forces. One of them has to win.
Southern Alamance, right?
Southern Alamance versus
71st.
71st at 71st.
At first and first.
In Fayetteville. We seen Southern Alamance.
We seen Southern Alamance.
I had somebody who saw 71st last week and has bought in. I mean, he's bought in on 71st. He said bought it. I believe he bought a t-shirt at the concession stand.
Man. Even with that said, I'm going Southern Alamance.
On the upset.
On the upset.
That'll be upset.
I'm going Southern Alamance.
71st.
You going 71st?
71st.
All right.
Stick 71st. Our grit and grind games right here. Let's start with 11-1 WPA Wilson Prep Academy versus 11-1 West Columbus.
I think
Big game.
it's a big game. I just don't think. Okay, this is what I'm gonna say. I don't think WPA has seen a dual threat quarterback like Kelly.
They have not.
But
they got solid defense.
They got a solid defense, but West Columbus has a good defensive player at number 65, DJ Bryant. I mean, to see this kid play, it's something. I'm going West Columbus on the win on this one.
I seen WPA play. I seen the defense. I seen Christian Richardson. I seen what that team can do if they have the ball. The key to WPA is they're going to want to mimic what Nash Central did that third quarter because they can score quick.
Mm-hmm. Long
Drives and control the clock. That's how you win this game. Keep the ball out of West Columbus' hand. WPA on the road.
Going WPA.
11-0 Tarboro hosted 8-5 East Blandon Eagles versus Vikings in Tarboro.
I think it's going to be a good game.
A good game.
The Eagles has like you said, peaked at the right point.
They have.
To get this far. But you're coming up against a team in Tarboro that's been there, done that.
That's it.
And this is a routine for them, and they know what it takes to get to that next level.
Can you stop the team? Is that
And
what
that's it.
When you walk on the field, that's the question.
Yeah.
Can you stop it?
And that's it.
And if you stop, we're going to continue running it and make you stop it again.
I mean, East Bladen's got a good running game.
They do.
I mean, you got Brooks that's got over 1,800 yards rushing. And they beat a good Rosewood team last week.
They did.
Oh, man, this is my upset pick.
Uh-oh, no. Don't you do it.
This is going to be my upset
Don't
pick.
you do it. Don't you do it.
I'm picking the Eagles for the upset.
Final answer.
Final answer. I'm going Eagles upset.
East Blended Eagles.
For the upset.
Roll on Highway 64. They passed the Tarboro Billboard.
Yes.
They pass all the accolades when you get on the stadium field.
Yeah, they seen all that.
They see all that.
They don't mean nothing.
And they get off the bus.
And go take care of business.
And get a win.
And get a win.
In Tarboro.
In Tarboro.
In round 4.
Yep.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast. You need to pump the brakes right now. Hit them right now. Pump the brakes.
For my upset.
Tarboro. Tradition continues. In the famous words of Fight High School, Tarboro wins the game. I don't even got to go no further into it. I'm saying right now, Tarboro wins. Before we go to this North Nash game, let me throw one more to you, Daryl.
All right.
A team that upset Southwest Edgecombe last week in Cougar Town, USA, in Pine Tops. Let me throw that pick in there. Whiteville, 11-2. A lot of people didn't see that upset, but that was a big upset. I mean, they got a hold of Southwest and just went to business. Versus 13-0 Northeastern. Whiteville Wolfpack versus the Northeastern Eagles.
I'm going to go Northeastern.
I'm sticking with Northeast.
Yeah, I'm going Northeast.
Whiteville got a good win last week, but the Northeast team, that's a good team.
That's a good team, yeah.
All right, Daryl, our 2 picks right here in the Nash County area. 12-1 Northern Nash. Taking the road trip, the road campaign. They've been on the road the past 2 weeks.
They've been on the road.
Filling up the activity bus as we speak right now. They're putting diesel in it. Taking the ride down Highway 58 to Havelock, going down to Havelock to play the Rams of Havelock in Havelock.
This game it's going to be a good game because you got 2 good teams playing each other.
Old school football.
Old school football at its finest. Havelock is undefeated.
They're undefeated.
And like you said, they played a good Jacksonville team early in the season that they beat, and then beating J.H. Rose last week in the playoffs. And they got 2 good running backs. I mean, really good running backs. But that Northern Nash team is more, it just seems as though they are driven and more focused as far as being that on-the-road team that breaks your heart.
That's right.
And I think they're going to do it again this Friday night. So I'm going to go Northern Nash on this. It's going to be close, but I think Northern Nash will find a way to come out with a win.
It's hard to pick against Northern Nash the way they're playing.
Yeah.
To be able to win in Southern, tough place to play in. Go down to Scotland, tough place to play in. To win 2 games on the road and not be able to have to play none at home except round 1,
yeah,
I can't pick against them. I think Northern Nash goes in and not close, but takes care of business.
Okay.
Now, another team in Nash County going on the road. The 11-2 Nash Central Bulldogs, leaving the dog pound after 3 home games. Leaving the dog pound, taking the ride down 795 to Clinton, North Carolina, to Dark Horse Stadium to play in Clinton. I've been to Clinton, tough place to play in.
Tough place to play in.
Big fan base down there.
Big time fan
Whole
base.
city comes out on Friday night.
Big time fan base down there, and they love their Dark Horses.
They do.
Area. It's going to be tough for Nash Central because you're playing a team that is loaded. And like I said earlier in the show, a team that's focused on both sides of the ball, that don't make mistakes, that cut down on their penalties. And it's going to be I think it's going to come down to defense.
That's what it's going to come down to.
What defense can step up and stop each other's team's running backs, because both teams got good running backs. Both teams got good wide receivers. So it comes down to defense. So whichever defense can step up is going to win this game. I'm going Nash Central on this. I think Nash Central will come out. It's going to be close. It's going to be really, it's going to be close. But I think Nash Central can pull it out. And it's going to come down to the kicking game.
That's what's going to come down to.
It's going to come down to the kicking game. And I think Nash Central will pull it out.
Clinton, we coming. Nash Central is ready. This is going to be a tough game.
Yep.
I won't say it's going to be a blowout game for neither team. It's going to be a tough game. Like you said, Daryl, it's going to be about defense, special team, field position. I think that's where Nash Central will have the advantage. I have not seen Clinton special team yet, but I've seen that defense and offense. But I think that the reason why I haven't seen Clinton special team because they had to be on the field that much.
That's it.
But I think Nash Central will be able to play the X's and O's of the field position and win that battle. Nash Central for the win. Close game. Very close. I wouldn't even say Nash Central by 3.
All right.
Those are our picks right there on the grit and grind. We got to give a shout out to Rocky Mountain Academy.
Rocky Mountain Academy.
Bringing the 8-man North Carolina Independent School Association state championship back home in Nash County. Way to go, Eagles. We coming to see you. Well, Daryl, we're going to be down to Clinton on Friday night.
On Friday night.
Clinton, we coming. We coming, Clinton.
We coming.
Grit and Grind be live down there. We'll be doing a little something with Buck Sweet Sports from Clinton. See if we can link that up, make that happen. As always, there before we sign off, do you have the grit?
And do you have the grind?
And we will see you next week for round 5 of the playoffs right here on the Grit and Grind.